I would be discussing the issue of privatization today. Of late, there has been lots and lots of debates regarding the issue of privatization as to whether we should go for privatization or not. So basically, this issue of privatization is revolving around one important question, and that is whether we should go with the public sector companies for the production of industrial goods, or whether we should go with the private sector companies for the production of industrial goods. So in order to answer that question, we need to look into the performance of these public sector companies and the private sector companies as to how they have performed in the time period which they got, and then only we can decide as to whether we need to go with the public sector company or the private sector company. Now, before going into that comparison, I would first like to explain as to what privatization means. So, as you all know, that public sector companies are the ones which are owned by the government, and the selling of the shares of the public sector company by the government is referred to as privatization. And generally, government sells the shares of the company only when it is making loss. So this was regarding privatization. We would now move towards that comparison. So prior to 1991, private sector companies were nearly non-existent. So the era of 1947 to 1991 was dedicated to the public sector companies. So if we have to discuss and if we have to trace the performance of the public sector companies, we need to see as to what they did in this time period from 1947 to 1991. So when we had our independence back in the year 1947, our leaders had this question. They had to make a decision regarding industrial policy as to what shall be the structure of our industries. Should we be capitalist, or should we ally with the Soviets and have a similar kind of model? So decision-making process has its genesis in the history as well. History has its bearing upon the decision-making process, and it happened in our case as well. What happened was that we gained our independence from the Britishers, who were capitalists, and they were exploiting nearly half of the globe for their purpose. So with those experiences, capitalism to us was nothing but a tool of exploitation of the masses. It was felt that those who are having certain vested interests and those who wish to exploit the masses, they resort to capitalism. And at that point of time, our leadership also felt the same, and they were not wrong also in their view. But if we have to evaluate as to how the public sectors perform, we need to look into their structure as to how they perform. So every year in the budget, there is a provision for allocation of certain amount of money to the public sector companies. So government allocates certain amount of money to them so that they can function. And when this inception of the idea of public sector company took place in our country, you would be well aware of the fact that what was the economic condition of our country. We were very poor. So the objective which the government had at the back of its mind when it was framing the industrial policy was that we should be in a position to provide the goods which forms the basic necessity for the masses, and that we should have self-sufficiency in the core industrial areas. These were the two objectives with which the government framed the industrial policy. But what happens is that when you have welfare at the back of mind, you cannot actually do business. You cannot make profits, because profit does not take into account welfare. So what happened was that the public sector companies started incurring loss. They were making outstanding losses. And if we talk about some statistics, till date we have 280 public sector companies, and 2/3 of the public sector companies today are making loss, nothing but loss. So you can imagine the condition back in 47 or 50s or 60s. They were making outstanding loss. The reason was very simple, was because they were doing welfare, and with welfare you cannot do business and you cannot earn money. So what happened was that we were continuing with this with as many days we could continue. We continued with it, but we had it enough in the year 1991. We raised our hands and said that we cannot continue with this anymore, and we went to the IMF and said we are on the verge of an economic collapse and we need your help. And that is the period where a transformation took place, and at that point of time we transformed our industrial policy from being more reliant on the public sector companies to being more reliant on the private sector companies. Actually what happened was that there were 18 areas of industrial production, and prior to 1991 all the areas of production were reserved for the public sector companies. As I said that prior to 1991 private sector companies were non-existent. So as a measure, as one of the measures which the government of India undertook for liberalizing and privatizing the economy was that those 18 areas of production which were reserved for the public sector companies, it was reduced to 5. Now only 5 areas of production, industrial production, were reserved for the public sector company. So since I was discussing regarding the performance of the public sector company, you would have been in a position to evaluate that public sector companies prior to 1991 was doing nothing but it was making outstanding losses. So now I'm moving ahead with the evaluation of the private sector companies. So when these 13 areas were thrown open to the private sector companies, production began. Private sector companies started taking the responsibility of industrialization. And in order to capitulate as to what was the result of this liberalization, I would just like to keep one fact before you. You know, India was a lender to the IMF, and post 1991, at present also, it has become one of the creditors to the IMF. And there is only one country in the whole world who was first a lender to the IMF and has now become the creditor to the IMF. So this is just one point which I would like to keep to encapsulate as to how economic prosperity took place when we opened up our production line for the private sector companies. Now this was regarding the comparison. You can just see that prior to 1991 we were making outstanding losses. There was no private sector company, and our economic situation was such that we were on the verge of a collapse. But after that, when we opened up, when you would like to see as to what was the performance of the private sector company, you see nothing but prosperity, and such a prosperity that you became a creditor from being a lender. So this was just regarding a comparison. Now the structural bottlenecks which are there. Let's discuss the structural bottlenecks which are there. You know, as I said previously regarding the structure of the public sector company, the government needs to allocate certain amount of money from its budget every year to this public sector companies. And one small fact is that India is a country which has never been in surplus. The current government has its account which is known as the current account. So India's current account has never been in surplus. It has always been in deficit. Right from the time of independence till date, we are a current account deficit. We have a current account deficit. So you know what is happening is that what does current account deficit means? It simply means that our income is less than our spendings. So we have this much of spending and we have this much of income only. And out of that small income also, the public sector companies are saying that look, every year you give me this much of money out of this budget. So just think, we have n number of things upon which we need to spend. We have social welfare measures we need to undertake, and infrastructural developments we need to undertake. So we are not in a position to get money for fulfilling all these things, and these public sector companies are asking us to give money. So, and look for the private sector companies. They are not asking the government to give money from the budget. They have their resources of their own. They would be producing on their own, and out of that production, whatever profits they have, they would be giving back to the government in the form of taxes. So think upon the reliability and the responsibilities of the government. There is this public sector companies which is relying upon the government. It is like a burden upon the head of the government. And there is this private company which is not at all relying upon the government. It is in fact giving to the government. So you see, when a company is making loss, what should the government do? What should the government do when a company is making loss? Obviously, it cannot say that you go to hell and I'm not concerned about you. It will certainly do, what it would do is that it will tell, if you cannot survive on your own, let me sell some of your shares to some other company and let them handle you so that they can make certain profit. So that is what is exactly privatization. And one more example I would like to give. If you know the railways sector, prior to every session of the budget, the Ministry of Railways asks the government for 10,000 crore of rupees as an advance. Why? Because it is operating in loss, and for the next financial year it cannot operate in loss, so it asks for allocation from the government. So every year 10,000 crore is given to the Ministry of Railway as an advance. Now you would have heard of the privatization of railway, and one train which was privatized was the Tejas Express. So I was going back to my college, and I was passing through one of the railway stations, and I saw numerous pamphlets, Kala Din Hai, privatization Kala Din Hai. So that very day I decided कि इस पे मेरे को कुछ करना है. तो आप देखिए होता क्या है कि अगर आप लॉस में ऑपरेट कर रहे हैं, रेलवेज क्यों लॉस में ऑपरेट कर रही है? क्योंकि वो ट्रेन का किराया बढ़ा नहीं सकती है. इट कैन नॉट इंक्रीज द चार्जेस ऑफ टिकट्स. व्हाई? क्योंकि उसको वेलफेयर करना है. अगर वो टिकट के दाम बढ़ा देगी तो फिर पूरे भारत में हल्ला हो जाएगा कि आपने टिकट का दाम बढ़ा दिया, आप मध्यम वर्ग के विरोध में हैं. तो गवर्नमेंट कैन नॉट डू दिस, सो इट ऑपरेट्स इन लॉस. What would happen if privatization of railway would take place? We cannot operate on the same philosophy and with the same enthusiasm as we were operating in 1947. We have become very big economy right now. We are not the ones who are not having food to eat, which was the situation back in 47. So what we can do is that there are people who have money, who want to reach their destination in time and want to have all kinds of facilities in the railways. So the people who can pay, so you provide them with those facilities. Go for privatization. The private railways will offer you all kinds of facility you want. And for those who cannot afford, you will have normal trains. So what would happen is that these private trains are going to charge you. They are going to give you services, world-class services, and they are going to charge you, and they charge you more. So when they charge you more, they are in a profit, and when they are in profit, they would be in a position to grant fiscal help to the government in form of tax. So you see, the railways which was operating in loss, when you gave a window of privatization, half of the sector started making profit and it started making contributions to you. So now the burden of 10,000 crore which you were having, it would be reduced to 5,000 crore, and subsequently the 5,000 crore would be given to this public sector, and who knows, they also start making profits. So you see how privatization is important, and on this date you cannot oppose privatization. Privatization is something which we need. And I think a week back, when the data regarding the growth rate in the GDP was released, all of us were crying that look, USA is having a lesser. USA is the growth rate of US is more than us. Uh, of Japan is more than us. Of Germany is more than us. Of UK is more than us. So you should wait and should think, whom are you comparing yourselves with? They are the ones who are highly privatized. They have highly privatized their economy. And when one train is privatized in our country, railway stations have got bearings of posters upon them, Kala Din, privatization Kala Din. So you are a country who is crying if one railway is privatized, and you are comparing yourself with those who have all of their railways privatized. This is not sense. You would have compared yourself with US, Germany, UK when you would have your economic structure like them, when you would have privatized all your railways. Last thing which I would like to say, because one can say that I kept on saying that government was doing welfare only, and that was the reason it was making laws. So what if the government stops what if the government stops working for the welfare and also takes into consideration profit making? So then public sector companies should be promoted and there should be no privatization. The answer to that would again be a no. And that no is based upon global experiences. All of the global economies have witnessed that the very structure, what is very important in business is decision making process, fast decision making process. You know, if decision making process is delayed, much of your business prospect is hampered. And it is globally accepted that the structure of the public companies is such that there would be numerous delays in decision making process. So both the ways, the public sector companies are going to make a loss for you. So it is the private sector companies only upon which you need to rely. And if you wish to compare yourself with the United States, Japan, just see what is the level of privatization where they have gone for. You know, we are the third, according to the purchasing power parity. India is the third largest economy of the world. But you will be surprised to know that among the top 50 banks in the world, we have no single banks there. Why? All our banks are public sector banks. It has to work into a restrictive environment. So that's the reason, and this is the time when we need to go for privatization. Last thing which I would like to say is that I'm not looking for likes and subscribers. I make these videos so that it could reach to larger public. So my sole request to you would be is to forward this video to those, if only you are convinced, is to forward this video to all those to whom you think that they should be knowing this, because we should be the ones who should be spreading this light against ignorance. Thanks a lot.